Hi, I'm Stephanie, and this is the Yacht Club. Yacht is Y-O-T. It's yoga-based occupational therapy. I'm an occupational therapist as well as a certified yoga instructor, and today we have a flow specifically for people with one-sided weakness. So you may be recovering from a stroke or some similar neurological condition, but my expectation in creating this flow is that one side of your body is weaker than the other. So we'll make accommodations for that. Go ahead and find yourself a chair. I want it to be a sturdy chair with hopefully no armrest, but if you're in a wheelchair, you can swing your armrest back. Of course, if you need the armrest for stability, for safety, then we can make that work too. I also would love for you to find a belt or something similar, some kind of strap that we can use for some lower extremity support during the video. So you can set that to the side for now. I have a yoga mat. You're welcome to place one under your chair, but it's totally not necessary. So as you get comfy and all your stuff together, I want you to take some time and just slow down your breathing. Get comfortable in your space and start to notice where you're at the beginning here. So sit forward in your chair if you can, off your backrest. Sit up nice and tall. I want your feet to be directly under your knees. So if you need to use your hand to maneuver them, get those feet really set up under your knees. And you could rock side to side in your chair, get really comfortable and feel steady. Start to find some length through your back. So get really tall, let your shoulders fall away from your ears. And let your hands just rest on your thighs. Try not to change your breath too much here at the beginning. Just start to notice. How's your body feeling? Any areas of tension or pressure? And just take some time to breathe. Notice if any part of your body moves as you're breathing, if your belly goes in or out or your rib cage moves to the side. Especially notice if your shoulders are moving up and down or your chest is really moving a lot as you start to take deeper breaths. If they are, start to direct your breath a little lower. So envision your rib cage as a full 360-degree cylinder barrel. And imagine that as you take a deep breath in, that barrel starts to swell and fill. And even the slats of wood of the barrel are stretching apart. So the whole rib cage is spreading and opening as you inhale, filling up with a deeper breath. And then as you exhale, everything knits back together. Take some moments to inhale and exhale just like that, keeping the mental image of the barrel. You can let your eyes close if that feels comfortable to you. Otherwise, just let your gaze soften. So you're not focusing on anything in particular. Your mind's eye is thinking about your rib cage and your abdomen as it moves with your breath. And we're going to draw some movement in with this breathing. So reconnect with your stable base. So press through your feet, press through your hips down into your chair, and lengthen out the top of your head so you're sitting up really straight and tall. Then lace your fingers together. So in these next movements, your stronger arm's going to be helping out your weaker arm. So you can find some connection between your hands. That stronger hand's going to be gripping the weaker one. And on your next inhale, reach forward and up. As you exhale, let your hands fall back down to your lap. Inhale forward and up. Try and draw those arms towards straight so your fists are reaching forward as you pull them up. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's do a few more like that. So we're beginning to add some more factors to what you're thinking about, right? You're thinking about moving your arms now, but you're holding in your mind that image of the barrel with your rib cage. So you're finding some stability through your abdomen with this movement. So as you inhale, you're expanding your ribs, lifting your arms. Exhale to relax down. Inhale up. Exhale down. On this next one, I want you to inhale up and hold it here. Then begin to reach forward. You're going to be bending from your hips. And as you exhale, let your arms fall down. So you're going to be sort of falling forward, bending forward. So to avoid actually falling out of your chair, I want you to really press your hips down into your seat and only go as far as you feel safe. So your hips are really staying in your chair. Your hands are reaching down towards the ground. Let your head relax. Then you're going to inhale, pull yourself back up to sitting. So if you need the stability, when you come forward, you can keep your elbows on your knees. That's totally fine. We're going to try that again though. Inhale up. Exhale, reach forward as far as you can, and then let your hands come down towards the ground. Fold in half. Inhale, come back up nice and slow. Exhale, find your center. Inhale up. Exhale, reach forward as far as you can with keeping those hips in your seat, and come back down towards the ground. And inhale back up. And try 2 more just like that. This time we're going to try going really with your breath. So inhale up. Exhale, reach forward and come down. Then inhale, sit back up. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach forward and then down. Inhale, come back up. Then you can bring your hands back to your thighs. We're going to find some spinal mobility. So come back to that mountain pose. That's what we call the stable, sturdy stance, where you've got your feet on the floor, your hips in the chair, and your head is nice and tall. Then begin to arch your back to look up towards the ceiling. So your chest is going to open up. And just notice what happens in your hips. So your pelvis should tilt forward so that you can arch your back and look up. And then you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to round everything. So start with tucking your chin and letting your hips, your pelvis tuck. And you're going to make like a C shape with your back. And then we'll go back and forth. So this is called cat-cow. This one's cow. You're arching and looking up, spreading your chest. And then switch and round everything. Tuck your chin, tuck your hips. You should feel the middle of your back touching the back of your chair. And we go to cow, arch your back, look up towards the ceiling. And round into cat. This time we'll go with your breath. Inhale, arch your back, look up. And exhale, round everything. Inhale, look up. Arch your back. It's like a little back bend. And then exhale, round your back. Then find neutral. So somewhere between the dramatic arches and rounds, you're going to find your center. Let your spine be long. So as you inhale, you could even press against your thighs. Try and reach your head up towards the ceiling. Let's lace your fingers together again. And bring both your hands onto one side of your thigh and start to look in that direction. Let your shoulders twist that way too, but keep your knees pointing straight forward. As you inhale, get really tall and see if you can spin a little farther. So your spine's starting to twist. Keep pressing your feet into the ground so you stay really stable. And maybe you can press your hands against your thigh and start to twist a little deeper. Keep taking deep breaths. On your inhales, you get taller, and on your exhales, you twist deeper. And you just keep breathing. So your breath will feel a little compressed with your body twisted. So it takes a little extra intention, a little extra effort to keep your deep, steady breath even when your body's twisted. And gently unwind and bring those hands to the opposite thigh. So your fingers are still laced. Get really tall and then start to twist your body. So you start with your head and shoulders. Then you can press your hand against your thigh and turn towards the side of the room. You get tall on your inhales, twist a little deeper on your exhale. Want your chest to stay really broad, wide, and open. So you're not letting your body crunch up. You're staying really tall with a big, wide chest. Your knees are pointing forward, and you're taking deep breaths. And slowly unwind, bring those hands back to center. Now step your feet a little wider. You can use your hands to help if you need it. And you may need to come a little forward in your chair for this one. So we're looking for a wider space between your knees, wider base of support. And for this one, it's going to look different on one side versus the other, but our goal here is getting some weight down through your arm. So get really tall, and then I want you to lean out, put your elbow on your thigh, and let your other arm come out to the side. So you could stay right here if that works for you, but our goal is a side angle. So we're looking to lean into your elbow, to keep both your hips grounded in the seat, and start to lean out to the side. Find some space in your rib cage. And if it's possible for this arm, start to reach it up. So it's going to help you lean a little more. I want you to keep your fingers really active. So you're sending energy out through your fingertips, pressing your feet into the ground, and taking deep breaths here. As you breathe, you'll notice your rib cage is in a different position now, so you can start to fill the side of your lungs on that side that's reaching open. And you can look towards your top hand, up towards the ceiling, because we want your chest to stay really open. And reach through your top hand, come back up to center. And let your opposite elbow come to that thigh. So you're going to just start with a little lean and let your other arm come out to your side. Make sure that elbow is really stable and start to lean some weight into it. So your head starts to look up towards the ceiling. That opposite arm can reach up as much as it's able. And you're finding a big stretch through the side of your body and putting a lot of weight through this elbow. So you're really pressing your elbow against your thigh. And taking some deep breaths. Your chest is really open, making a lot of space there between your arms. Breathing deep, filling up the side of your rib cage with air through your lungs. And reach through your top hand, come back up to center. Now is when you're going to need that belt. So go ahead and thread one side through the belt so you make a little loop here. And you're going to use your stronger arm and loop your foot through that end of your belt. So for your weaker leg, you may need to hook one foot behind that one so it can lift up a little bit. And you can catch your toes. You're going fishing for your foot here. So we're keeping that end of the belt along as end is in your hand, and the loop is around your foot. Okay, so bring your feet back underneath you. We're going to try and work on some hip mobility here. So you're holding on. This is just going to give you a little support to compensate for any weakness in your leg. So first thing we're going to do is lift your foot like a big march and step out to the side and lift it back to center. Now this is a big core effort here, so you're going to use your breath and that stability we've been working on to be able to lift your foot without falling over. Because I want your back off the backrest, sitting up really tall. You got your foot looped and your belt in your hand. Let's inhale to lift and move that foot out to the side. Exhale to rest. Inhale, carry it back to center. So we're going to go step it in and out like a march. And we're just warming up those hips. So you're always lifting on the inhale. You'll feel that inhale start to activate your core. Nice. Okay, and then put a little slack in your belt. And you can hook behind your foot and see if you can wiggle that belt back off your toes. Okay, let's switch sides. So you can lift the opposite foot and hook the belt around it. So you can get it around your toes, bring those feet back underneath you. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side, holding that belt to keep it stable. And inhale, exhale. Inhale back in. So you're just stepping your foot out as wide as you can with the help of your arm. And in, out, in. Awesome. So now we're going to try to move the hip in another direction. So that was abduction, where you move your hip out to the side. Next, we're going to try a little internal rotation. So let's cross your foot over. You can keep that belt where it is. Cross your heel over your ankle. And we're going to start to slide up the shin. So inhale, pull your foot up towards your knee, and exhale, slide back down. Inhale up, exhale down. Remember, your arms helping you. Inhale up, exhale down. Just sliding up and down with your breath. Your core is still working here. And on this last one, if you can, pull it all the way up so your heel crosses over your knee. So I want your ankle to be resting on your knee. If this is too intense, you can lean your back against the backrest. That'll give you a little bit more space in your hips. But if you've got the core support and the flexibility, then keep your back off that backrest, set up nice and tall. So this is our figure 4. This is the seated version of pigeon pose. Keep your toes really active here. Your foot is pressing down into the ground and your ankle's pressing into your knee. Hips are pressing into the seat and you get really tall. This is a really big stretch on that hip. If this is enough right here, that's great. If you have more room to stretch, you can start to reach your head tall first, then start to fold forward from your hips if you need a little bit more sensation. This is going to increase the stretch on the hip. Keep your nice smooth breath. It's always a clue for you if you start to breathe really heavy or your breathing just becomes uneasy or unstable, then that means you're probably doing too much, so you need to dial it back. So if your breath isn't smooth, then you can sit back up nice and tall, or you can lower your leg down. And take that belt again, gently lower your foot back down to the ground. Set it down and undo your belt. Let's switch back to the other foot. Remember, you can hook behind your heel if you need to lift it. And wiggle it on there. Now your ankle's crossed over your opposite foot. The foot that's on the ground is nice and stable, pressing down into the ground. Then we're going to start to slide your heel up your shin. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Last one. Inhale up, exhale, slide back down. Then see if you can pull your heel all the way up to your knee. And rest it there. We're going to leave our loop where it is. Just check back in with your alignment so your foot is flat on the ground. Your opposite foot is pressing down into your knee. I want you to avoid pressing into this knee. It can be wherever it naturally is. So if it looks more like this, that's fine. You just don't want to press sideways on your knee because that is not the way it's intended to hinge. So focus on your posture, sit up nice and tall, and find some smooth, easy breath here. Check back in with your breathing. So how's your rib cage moving as you breathe? Is your head tall, reaching up towards the ceiling? If you need a little bit more stretch in that hip, you just sit a little taller and start to fold forward. So you're reaching your head forward towards the wall across the room. Your hips are staying really grounded into the seat. You don't want them lifting up. And if you're folded forward, gently press yourself back up. Use that belt to lower your foot slowly down. And you can unhook it. Wiggle it off your foot. It's a little easier said than done. Okay, and then you can set your belt out to the side. So now that we've made a little bit more room in your hips, let's gently move your feet out to the side. In a wide stance, you're going to need to come forward in your chair a little bit. So we're incorporating a few things here. If you'll remember back at the beginning, you did your arch back. So in this pose, we're going to do a forward fold. And your hips are going to tilt forward, just like when you were arching your back. So you can kind of sit forward so that your pelvis tilts forward. Your feet are wide. Press your feet down into the ground. Sit up really tall. You can lace your fingers together. Reach your head up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms up. On an inhale, exhale, reach your hands as far forward as you can. And start to let them come down. So this is just a bigger version of what we did at the beginning. You can let your hands come all the way down, or you can rest your elbows on your knees. But I want the fold to be from your hips. Just check in, though, with your hips to make sure they're not coming up out of your seat. I want you to stay really grounded in your chair and your feet firmly on the floor. And let your head start to rest. Relax your head. You can let it shake side to side. Relax the muscles in your neck. And find your smooth, easy breath here. So we're letting the muscles in your back lengthen. The muscles in your hips and the back of your legs. So breathing slow is going to tell your muscles it's okay to relax, to let go of that tension. It's going to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the one that tells your body to rest. So it's using a cue of deep breathing as sort of a signal to your body to relax, let go of that muscle tension, find some ease. Then as you're ready to come back up, go ahead and put your stronger arm, your elbow on your knee, and start to press yourself back up. And come all the way back to center. You can draw your feet back together. And we're going to end the same way we began, in a mountain pose. So reconnect with your feet on the floor. Sit up nice and tall. You can let your hands be on your thighs. And find a few final deep breaths. Let your back be nice and long. Your head is reaching towards the ceiling. And just take a little scan of your body. See how it feels now versus when you started. You feel any new muscle sensation? Any tingling? Sometimes after a movement, your body can feel like it's vibrating a little bit. There's some energy, some life in there. Just notice if any of your body feels more active than it did before, or any more awake. Notice how your hips feel in the seat and how your feet feel pressing against the ground. How you can sit nice and tall and keep your smooth, easy breath. Thank you for taking some time for yourself today to honor your body and to take some time to practice and explore movement. Namaste.